everyone. So today I was thinking about what to do for a film for today's video. Got my words twisted up then. Yeah, I was thinking about what to film for today's video, and then I thought, I know what I can do. It's something that's not really especially close to my heart, but everyone should be doing and does do to some extent, but I feel like we don't do it enough because, let's face it, we're all busy, we're all work, school, college. I mean, I don't personally, but you know, a lot of people's time is taken up with other things, so admittedly we don't all have the time to do this to the extent we'd like, or maybe we just don't know how to do it, or and that is just, you know, looking after yourself and listening to your body. And I'm not just talking about just washing your hands, because these are things, or brushing your teeth, because these are things that everybody should be doing. I mean, that's just basic hygiene, just basic self-care, to be honest. I don't think that's really listening to your body as such. But yeah, I kind of get my drift. But what I mean is like actually listening and paying to your body and knowing when something isn't right and knowing when something's wrong. You know, just listen and pay attention, because your body is, you know, as cliche as it sounds, it's a wonderful thing, and it can do all these incredible things and functions, and I feel like a lot of the time we take that for granted. I mean, you know, I don't think I've ever actually, my words twisted, I don't think I've ever actually said it before, but I was about to say pity, no, not pity, I don't know what it is, I just envy people, I guess, to an extent, who are just born with just really healthy, no problems whatsoever, and they just take that for granted, or they smoke. You know, and just like, you know, I can't sit here and shame people for drinking, because I did used to drink, you know, I'm not going to deny that. I would go out weekends, I'd drink, you know, just like most people my age. I did do that, and I enjoyed it, you know. But yeah, I just think it's really infuriating people born with perfect health when they then, you know, smoke or do drugs, and I just think, what are you doing? You're just asking for problems. Do you know what I mean? It's just, you're perfectly healthy, and by smoking, you're just asking for cancer, and you're bringing that on yourself, or some other health complication down the line. It's like people who are overweight, you know, they eat too much, and I'm just thinking, you're just asking for diabetes, or for, you know, to get a heart attack later in life. I'm not sitting here trying to shame fat people or people who smoke, because I live in a family of people who all practically smoke, but do you know what I mean? I'm just like, anyway, so yeah, this sort of brings me on to, you know, I just feel like you should be listening to your body and what it's telling you, what's right, what's wrong, and all that. And unfortunately, I did learn this the hard way, and I'm going to tell you that now. So basically, it was around November last year. It was the week of fireworks, so the week of the 5th of November. And I went out to a firework display with some friends, and that was really good, you know. Didn't feel anything odd or unusual. I mean, I feel a bit more tired, but, you know, I've been feeling that since September, so it wasn't really anything out of the unusual. So I went to that, I enjoyed it, it was really good. And then later in the week, I had another fireworks display, which was just in my little neighbourhood area here. And, you know, I was really enjoying that. The fireworks just about to start, and there was like a buffet sort of table of food. And there was some hot dogs, but I thought, I don't like hot dogs, you know, just don't really like them. And I saw some onions to go with them, and I thought, they look nice. So I picked them up. Well, not literally, just like went like that. I mean, I got a plate, I picked them up, put it on the plate, and I've had them. And the first mouthful was just like, I'm not being funny, but they were cold, they're disgusting, they were gross. And then so I just swallowed it and got on with it and just enjoyed the rest of the night. And then about 2 days later, I started feeling like really, really ill, like really sick. And I was thinking, I wonder what it could be, like maybe, and then we started to maybe be something I ate, like the onions, for example. And I was thinking, then everyone was saying to me, well, if they were the onions, wouldn't everyone who had them be affected? And I was like, yeah, but bear in mind, it might be my body saying it's unable to tolerate foods, which it wasn't then, but it is now. So, yeah, so I said that, and then they also said, and also I have a slightly repressed immune system, which I guess doesn't really have a lot to do with it, but my body finds it harder to just cope with, general functions because it's under so much stress and doing so much overtime that, even little things, just like, that's why I feel so tired a lot of the time, because a lot of the work my body is doing is to keep my liver functioning, so other things have to, I don't know what the word is, compensate or suffer for that. So that's the logic behind that. So yeah, anyway, I was thinking, oh god, and what I thought it was actually it was like trapped wind. And I'm not sure about you guys, but whenever I have trapped wind and it won't come up, what I either do, I either just rub down here or up here or generally my back if I can reach it. And generally after a while it'll come up, job done, let's go on to the next thing. But on this one occasion it would not come up, and it was getting quite late, and I was sat on my bed and I was just like thinking, oh god, this really annoyed me, because I couldn't sleep because it was just bugging me so much, and I just felt like really like unwell, and I didn't really feel nauseous, because I think if I felt nauseous I would have known I was going to be sick, but which I've completely just given that away. But anyway, but no, I mean, I think if I felt nauseous I knew I was going to be sick, but I didn't. So anyway, I was sat there trying to bring up what I thought was wind, and eventually I could feel it, and I was like, oh god, it's coming like the wind or whatever I needed to do. And then next thing you know, I was really violently sick. Like, it was, I can't even explain the extent of it, but I remember it so crystal clear in my head. And my sister was just in the bed opposite me, and I was just really violently sick, and it wasn't just at once, I think it was about 3 times, and yeah, so, and then my poor sister, she obviously heard it, because, I won't go into detail, but it's like when you're sick, and she suddenly woke up, she suddenly bolted upright in her bed, was like, are you okay? I was like, what do you think? I don't think I'm okay. And the thing is, I've never actually really been sick, apart from maybe when I was younger once or twice, like most babies do. They're often sick. I'd never been sick, so it was a complete shock to me, Despite everything else, I've never ever actually really been sick, so I was completely blown away. And I can also, say, and I've never, let me try and get my sentence out, I've never really been sick, and I've certainly never thrown up while I'm drunk. I'll be the first to say I've never thrown up while I'm drunk. I'm not that person who's like running to the ditch or the ice and he's like hurl, or I've never had to make a dash to the toilet at a house party. No, never done that. So yeah, it was a great big shock to me, especially because I wasn't expecting it either. And so yeah, I mean, it was a complete shock, but then all that happened was there and then I thought, okay, well, I feel dreadful now. I'm going to go freshen up, clear this up, and then go to sleep, because that's all I could think about was just cleaning up and getting some sleep. So I went and did exactly that. And then over the next few days, sort of weeks, I found what was happening a lot. Not as violent, not as to that extent, but a lot of what I was eating just wasn't, staying down, and I got to the point where I was so scared to eat anything, and all I was literally eating was just like some water and a slice of toast, because I was so scared to eat anything. I was like, no, I don't want to eat that, because I might be sick. Like, do you know what I mean? I just thought, no, I'd rather be really hungry and not risk it than eat it and then, be violently sick later on, or just throw up. So I was like, no, so... And this went on for a while. I mean, not like ages and ages and ages, but I think it went on for a good week and a bit. And I noticed other things started happening as well in that time. Like, I found that I was sleeping a lot more. Like, it didn't matter how much I slept, I was always tired. I'd wake up and be like, oh, I can probably, go do something now, whether it's downstairs or go out or what. But no, I just wanted to sleep the whole time. I just literally, it doesn't matter how much I slept, my body just didn't seem to re-energize itself as such, so that was quite a big deal, I guess. And I didn't really think much of it at the time. All I thought at the time was, it's just my health getting worse, you know, because they told me this was happening. I mean, they didn't say this exact symptoms, but it's different for everybody. So, you know, I've just thought it's my health getting worse, you know, I'm just going to have to accept it, you know, be bedbound on a diet of water and bread. I mean, not that the hospital wouldn't have done anything, but do you know what I mean? So, yeah, and then the other thing that started happening was, like, luckily it's stable now, but I get, like, if I have too much salt, or even now, I don't take my water tablets, which are my diuretics, which stop my fluid retention. What happens is loads of fluid collects, got that right, collects, either, you know, around my ankles, which is really painful because then all that fluid is sat there. And I'm not being funny, but it's really painful to stand up and walk, and yeah, and not just that, it can like collect in like my stomach here, and then it looks like you got pregnant belly, like, you know, it doesn't look good. It's definitely not a flattering look, and that was happening, and it was getting bigger and bigger, and I just felt so unwell. And then eventually, one night I was in bed, and I noticed, like, round here, I was, like, really hot, like, really warm to touch, and I thought, oh, I'll just put a cold flannel in it, and it should calm down, you know. And, so I did that, and it didn't seem to be working, but I thought, no, it just needs more, you know, I'm not giving up as such. And then eventually, another night I was in bed and I couldn't sleep. I was in so much pain. Like, it was just around here. It was just painful to touch, like, just going like that. It was so painful, like, even just thinking back to it now, it was just, no. So I woke up, well, I didn't wake up, I went down in the morning and so I spoke to my mum. And she said, I think it's time we took you to the GP and arranged an emergency appointment. So I was like, okay. So I hopped in the car, my gran gave me a lift down, and then she said, I think it might be an infection. And we were like, okay. I wasn't really expecting that. And the other thing was, like, I had a really high temperature, like, I sat there, like, shivering the whole time, but it was because my body was, like, trying to keep me warm, but as a result of that, I was, like, shivering. I don't know, it's really weird. But, yeah, so I was having a roaring temperature, and obviously I was in pain, and, you know, I had the fluid collecting, and I just didn't look well at all. I looked like, you know, something out of, you know, I don't know, The Walking Dead. So, not that I've ever seen that, but I'm sure you could have seen the similarities. So, yeah, I mean, she said, I think it's an infection. So I thought, I don't really want to go to A&E and be sat there waiting for hours and hours, because I know exactly what A&E is like. Not that I've ever been, I mean, this was my first ever trip to A&E, because I've never been. Hand on my heart, well, I have now, but you know. So, yeah, I mean, she put a call through to my hospital and said, I've got a patient here, she's really unwell, I think she needs to come in. So, that was it. Next thing you know, we're going in a taxi to the hospital, and my sister and my gran were with me, and my dad was on his way because he lives in Brighton. And my other sister, poor thing, she was the one day she had of school, bless her. Because it was like, I think it was an insect day or something, but yeah, this was like the one day she had of school, and as soon as she heard I was going to hospital, I came back to just collect some things, obviously, and she had burst into tears. And I was like, oh, it's okay, honey. So I just gave her a hug. She was fine. I just explained to her I was going to be okay, and I wasn't dying or anything. I was going to be okay. I just needed to go and see the doctors just so they could find out what was wrong with me and I could get better. So I think she sort of understood that, and, you know, eventually she calmed down. But it's hard for her. I mean, it was hard for everyone. She was only 13. She's still only 13. But yeah, and so we went to the hospital. We had to sit and gave our name and everything, and they said, okay, just take a seat. And then I got called through, and of course they had to run some tests, and one of them was where they had to get some of the fluids from like here, which was, by the way, was really, really painful. I don't, just thinking about it now, it just makes me cringe. It was absolute agony, because I was like, they were like, we could give you some anaesthetic, but then, you know, by the time we do that, all we're going to do is put another needle in. And I was like, and I didn't even get a choice in the matter. They just said that, and then they just did it, and I was like, what, you know. So they just did it, and then they threw it, and it came out cloudy. And they said to me, this looks like it's infected, just looking from the colour. It shouldn't be cloudy. So they ran up to the lab, or into the lab, whatever, and they ran some tests, and it came back that I actually had an infection in the fluid, which apparently isn't that uncommon. But they were really worried at first because they thought it might have been an infection in my blood. And if that had been the case, then, put it this way, I wouldn't be here telling this story now. So yeah, they said, okay, this is, you know, all we need is a course of antibiotics, and you might have to stay in for a while, but you should be fine. So I was really relieved, and by this time I was so tired because I'd not slept the night before. I'd had this really big day seeing doctors, GPs and everything, and all I wanted to do was sleep. And they even brought my dinner around, and I was like, I don't want to, I just want to sleep. So yeah, they bought my dinner, and I was like, I don't want it, I just want to sleep. And then it was so noisy in A&E, and this guy next to me was wrenching and throwing me up, and I was like, ooh, no thank you, like, don't want to be sat next to that. But obviously don't have much of a choice. And then the annoying thing is, they kept coming up to me and going, oh, so you should be going up to ward in about half an hour? Yeah, half an hour? And I was like, great, okay, that'll be good, because ward's a lot quieter, obviously, and the nurses are generally a lot nicer and everything. So they're like, yeah, you should be going up soon. We're just trying to discharge another patient, because they've got to free up beds, and if it's an emergency, they have to just discharge someone quickly. So yeah, they suddenly, and then, you know, they said that, I think about, what, 6? Half 6? And then by the time, they kept saying like, oh, it won't be longer now. It won't be much longer now. And then it wasn't till 11:15, 12:15 even, I can't remember, that they finally took me up to the ward. And by this time I was on my own. My dad had left, my gran had left, but my sister had left. Understandably, of course, but I was just like, some kind of joke. And they wheeled me into this ward, and it wasn't even the right ward for a start, like it was a kidney ward, so don't get what that's all about. But yeah, they wheeled me in there, and then this was at the point where I said, can you put the aircon on, because I get really hot in bed, and if I get really hot I can't sleep. And they're like, oh no, I can't do that. So I was like, oh God's sake. So I think I eventually fell asleep because I was so exhausted. And then I think it was either that next day, I believe, they attached me to an IV, which is like the thing in your hand, and they give you antibiotics through a drip, essentially, which I think just makes it easier for them where they're trying to find, you know, some oral antibiotics for you to take. So they did that, and I had a lot of people come visit me in that week. I had my cousins, both of them, and my dad came up every day, and it was really nice, you know. Obviously being in hospital was the most exciting thing in the world, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's not I mind being in hospital, it's just really boring, like, and luckily now I've learned that, because I've packed things to do for when I next have to go in, so hopefully it won't be too bad. I mean, the only thing I do like about hospitals is you practically get waited on. Like, come on, you've got those little things by your bed and you can just press it and someone will come running. So that's the good thing, and generally some of the nurses are actually really nice, so, you know, it's not too bad. They just, you know, and eventually do get a bit bored of thinking, I want to be my own home with my own food, with my own bed. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. And so I think by the Wednesday, I remember the Monday and the Tuesday, I went on the Monday. On the Tuesday I was still in quite a bit of pain. By the Wednesday it finally started to, I wasn't in as much pain. So that was that. And then they eventually found some I had a few tests as well, like I think I had I can't remember if it's an MRI or CT. They're like, this might be quite scary, it will sound like a washing machine, and it didn't bother me at all. Like, I was like, hey, just get on with it. And I went under, and I was just thinking, is that it? Like, seriously? I think they had to do an ultrasound. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember too much what they did. A lot of it was just, I know I spent a lot of that week sleeping as well, because my body had a hell of a lot of sleep to catch up on. Like, my body was so exhausted and so drained. I remember whenever I just got bored, I just used to fall asleep, because there's nothing else to do, really. Do you know what I mean? It's just, so I just spent a lot of my time sleeping, and I'm sorry, the food there, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say it's awful, but it's not the best, and I ended up getting the same thing every week. But by the last 2 days, I think I was completely bored of, but I was too scared to try anything else in case it tasted absolute, you know, appalling. So I just ended up having the same thing, and I mean, it wasn't too bad. My sister kindly left her iPod with me, which is nice. My cousins bought me some magazines and some food, so that was really nice. Yeah, I mean, you know, so I think it just goes to show, more than anything, that you should listen to your body. I mean, my family prescribed me my oral medications on, I think it was the Thursday or Friday, and then on, I think it was a Friday or Saturday, I got discharged, and they gave me the antibiotics, which I'm taking now, and my water tablets, obviously. And by this time, the infection more or less cleared up. So yeah, I mean, I was still a bit big, like some of the food is still collected, but obviously because of course my water tablets, that was all gonna sort itself out in time. So yeah, like out, it was, you know, just literally a few days before Christmas. So, because this was in December last year, and this all happened over a few weeks, and by the time I went in, it was already December, and by the time I came out, it was already Christmas. So, yeah, so a lot happened that week, over that period of time. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you that, really, just to show that you should really listen to your body. I mean, if you feel something isn't right, I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes it could be nothing, your body's just having a bit of trouble. Like, even just yesterday, I felt like really like sick and nauseous, and I thought maybe I just need some sleep. I slept, and you know, I feel fine today. So, you know, it could be nothing, you know, it might just be your body's not feeling 100%, but I think if it continues for certainly like more than 5 days, not even that, then I definitely, you know, think about seeing someone, whether it be, you know, your doctor or your GP, anyone, just to make sure everything's okay and nothing is wrong, because, put it this way, you don't end up in a similar situation to me where it's too late and then you have to go to hospital. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. I mean, I'm fine now, obviously. Haven't had any infections for ages. Hope it stays that way. And yeah, I've not been to hospital since, apart from my, you know, regular routine appointments. But yeah, so that's just something I want to share with you, as I've already said. So yeah, anyway, I hope you sort of enjoyed this video. I know it's not the most cheerful video, but I felt like I had to just put it out there and just share my story, just so people are aware that, you know, you've got to listen to your body, and if it's telling you something, go and see someone or get it sorted if it persists for too long. So yeah, anyway, I do hope you sort of enjoyed this video, as I just said. If you want to comment, then please do. If you also want to give it a like, please do. And also, if you want to see me again, then please hit subscribe. I mean, thank you so much. I've now gone from 30 to 34 subscribers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I've actually gained those in quite a short space of time, so really happy. So thank you so much, guys. Like, you have no idea. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. So thank you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.